Republicans blasting that bill. They're arguing the $350 billion for state and local governments is just bailing out the blue states.
Yep. Let's bring in Governor Ron DeSantis from the very state of Florida, where he will take the stage at CPAC just moments from now. Former congressman turned governor. You have kept your state open, Governor, and a lot of people have been pushing back on you. Your approval rating stands at about 54% right now. You got elected with under 50%. Do you feel as though you've been vindicated?
Well, you know, Brian, I saw that weather forecast. We're in the mid-60s. Most of the other states are in the 30s and 40s. Yeah. So I'd take 65 with a whiff of freedom over 35 under the yoke of lockdown any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Yeah, look, we led. We went against the grain. We had a lot of opposition, particularly from the corporate media. But our kids are in school. Parents are happy with that. Our economy's growing. People are working. And they were predicting economic doom, particularly for Florida, because we're tourism-based. And our tourism isn't back by any stretch. And yet, we're getting huge revenue into the state with no tax increases. We're going to have a budget surplus, and we're clicking on all cylinders. We're doing more on the vaccines for the senior citizens, but I would rather be in Florida than just about any other state right now.
Well, that explains why the streets of New York, and people are applauding. Yes, indeed. Let's go to Florida. I think that's why the streets of New York are deserted, Governor, because everybody is down there and not up here. You know, the way Ainsley set that up is this $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package, supposedly. Most of it is not related to coronavirus. Instead, it is, in many cases, a blue state bailout. Down there in Florida, with you at the helm, how much money is Florida going to get? Because New York's going to get a boatload.
It's unbelievable how they're doing this. So they are actually rewarding the states that have the highest unemployment rate. So if you lock down, if you destroyed your own economy through your own policies, you are getting a windfall. And the states like Florida that have worked to put people back to work, that have saved our economies, we end up getting the short end of the stick. And so it is absolutely calculated to benefit the failing blue states. And I know there's a lot of other nonsense in that bill, which I'm not surprised at as someone who did serve in the Congress. But there's no doubt states like Florida who did it right are going to come up with the short end of the stick against other states that did it wrong.
What do you expect from CPAC? I know the President Trump's going to speak on Sunday. This is the first time we've heard from him since the inauguration. What do you want him to say?
Well, look, I'm glad that people are coming to an event again. I mean, we've obviously been open in Florida. CPAC was not going to be allowed to be done in some of these other lockdown areas. We welcomed it here in Florida. I think Florida is really showing how to lead going forward. And we're leading not just on schools and economy. We're leading on election integrity. We're leading on big tech. And so we're proud of what we're doing. And I think people are going to be excited to hear that. And, of course, they're going to be excited to hear from the former president, who, by the way, is an official Florida resident now for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, Governor, a lot of people are officially Florida residents of late because they just want their freedom back. Doesn't mean you're not wearing masks. It doesn't mean people aren't keeping their distance, but they just have some say in their own lives and livelihoods, and I think that's important. The other thing to keep in mind around the country is that you took on a major problem, and I think most people can understand it, big tech. Explain what you're doing for those outfits like Twitter and Facebook that want to deplatform politicians of any stripe. What are they going to run into if they find themselves coming up against Floridians or you?
Well, we're going to enact the strongest reforms that any state's ever done to rein in big tech. At the end of the day, we cannot have the terms of the debate in this country controlled by leftist oligarchs in Silicon Valley. That is totally unacceptable. And so, yes, we will provide protections against election interference. We will provide protections against censorship and deplatforming, not just of candidates, but of Floridians of all stripes. And we're also going to provide protections for your data privacy, which they mine relentlessly, and they make hundreds of billions of dollars off you without your consent.
So you're going to fine them?
Well, so if you deplatform a candidate for office, they're going to get fined $100,000 a day. If you censor or deplatform a private citizen, that citizen can bring a lawsuit under our consumer fraud statute.
Great.
And I think that will be pretty good as well.
No kidding. Florida has led the nation in the way you have rolled out the coronavirus vaccine. I know you've partnered up with Publix, which is a great big grocery store chain down there and throughout the southeastern part of the United States. And quite accurately, what you've done is you said, okay, the CDC says anybody is at risk who's over 65 or has comorbid conditions. And so you inoculated those people first. I heard you say, I think yesterday, that very shortly, in the next couple of weeks, you're actually going to lower the age for people under 65 to start signing up to get their shots.
I think so, because we've had a lot of success. We vaccinated millions of seniors in Florida, and if you look at all the statistics, we're either the top or one of the top for senior vaccination. So As soon as we start to see the demand soften among seniors, we have some counties that have 75, 80% of seniors have already been vaccinated, and we know not 100% are going to want it, so that's fine. So yes, we will then lower the age as soon as that signal comes in strongly.
All right, Governor, we will be watching you. What time are you speaking?
I think a little after 9 o'clock, between 9 and 9:30.
Okay.
Great.
Round of applause for Governor DeSantis. You're welcome.
Do you have just a group of people watching you do this interview?
No, that was a sound effect.
Tell them all we said hello. Thank you so much, Governor.
Okay, take
All right.
care. Yep.
Thank you. You too. Coming up now.